Now, first of all, let's look at question number 1. Yes, let's look at question number 1. Here we're told here that a man walks due west for 4 kilometers. He then changes direction and walks on a bearing of 197 degrees until he is southwest of his starting point. How far is he then from his starting point? Now, let's look at this now. Solution. Now, when analyzing problems involving bearing, as we all know, bearing means direction. Yes, direction starting from the North Pole. Yes, in analyzing problems involving bearing, the first step is to draw the 4 cardinal points. Yes, the 4 cardinal points. And of course, we know these are norths. We have north here, down here we have south, here we have west, and here we have east. Yes, and as we know, the rotation actually starts from the North Pole, and from this point to this point here is 90 degrees. From this point to this point is 90 degrees. Here we have another 90 degrees. Then here we have 90 degrees. So it therefore means that the whole rotation is 360 degrees. Now, going back to the question, here we're told that a man walks due west. Now, this is the direction of the man. Yes, due west. This is his direction. And he walks 4 kilometers. So the man walks 4 kilometers. Yes, 4 kilometers. He then changes direction. Now, from this point, these are another points. He then changes direction and walks on a bearing of 197 degrees. Now, from this point here now. Now, this is the North Pole. Now, 197 degrees, you start from here. Now, remember, from this point to this point is 90 degrees. Yes. Now, 90 plus another 90 is 180 degrees. So, since he walks 197 degrees, it means he is 17 degrees inside. Yes, 17 degrees inside. So, you take it down. You form another point here. This is the North Pole. Remember here, we actually added 17 degrees to 180 degrees. So it therefore implies that from this angle, from this point to this point, is 17 degrees. Yes. While from this point, here is 90, and here we have another 90. And of course, 90 plus 90 is 180 degrees. Now, here they said, how far is he from his starting point? Now, let's look at this. Now, they say he walks on the bearing of 197 degrees until he is southwest. Now, let's think of this word. Until he is southwest of his starting point. Now, remember, this is the starting point. He actually started from here and walked due west. So now, you take it from this point down to this point. Yes, because here, remember, we said this is west, this is north, south, west, and east. So now, the whole of this now, because here they mention southwest of the starting point, so it means we are taking this now to be 45 degrees, because the whole of this is 90 degrees. So this angle is 45 degrees. Now let's take this 4 kilometers up. Here we have 4 kilometers. Yes. Now this is the starting point. Now let's call the starting point A. Let's call this point B. And here we have C. Yes. Now if from this point, here like this is 90 and this is another 90. Yes, from here to here is 90. It therefore means that from this angle, from this point to this point, will be 17 degrees plus 90 degrees. Yes, because this angle from here to this point like this is 90 degrees. So 17 plus 90 degrees is 107 degrees. Yes, 107 degrees. And of course here, this our angle here is 45 degrees. Yes. Now this is another angle. Yes, let's call this angle C. Now remember, when treating the sine rule, yes, I mentioned that the sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So it therefore means that here, angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. Yes, that is this angle plus this angle is 180 degrees. Now we know angle A. Angle A here is 45 degrees plus angle B. Angle B is 107 degrees plus angle C. Yes, angle C is equal to 180 degrees. Yes, it's equal to 180 degrees. Now 45 plus 107, 45 plus 107 is 152 degrees. 152 degrees plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. Yes, so that means that angle C is 180 degrees minus 152 degrees. So angle C will give us 180 minus 52. That will give us 28 degrees. So it therefore implies that, yes, it therefore means that this angle from this point to this point is 28 degrees. Yes, it's 28 degrees. Now here they are asking us to find, they said, how far is he then from his starting point? Now remember, this is his starting point and he is here now. So it means here we have small b, here we have small c, and here we have small a. Yes, I did mention in my last class on sine rule that the side facing our big A is a small a, the side facing the big B is a small b, and the side facing the big C is a small c. So it therefore implies that if this is our big A, this side is a small a. Yes, this is our big B, this side is a small b. This is our big C, this side is a small c. Yes. Now this is a case of having three angles and just one side. Yes, having three angles and one side. So here we are applying the sine rule. I remember the sine rule states that, yes, let me make you the space. The sine rule states that A all over sine big A is equal to B all over sine big B and is equal to C all over sine big C. Yes, A all over sine big A is equal to B all over sine big B and is also equal to C all over sine big C. I remember I told us last time in my last class that here, the first thing to look at is the side and the angle. Now if you look at this, we know side small c and we know big C. So that's where you're starting from. So it means we'll start with C all over sine big C is equal to A all over sine big A. So at this point, you can put B all over sine big B there to give you the same thing. Now that we know the value of our small c to be 4 kilometers, so here we have 4 all over sine big C. Yes, and big C is 28. So we have sine 28 degrees is equal to, now we have our A, small A all over sine big A. Now remember, we are actually looking for the value of small b. Yes, and because we are looking for small b, let's use b all over sine big B. Yes, b all over sine big B. And the value of our big B is 107 degrees. So we have b all over sine 107 degrees. Yes, so 4 all over sine 28 degrees is equal to b all over sine 107 degrees. So now the next step is to cross multiply. Cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, here we have b times sine 28 degrees. Sine 28 degrees is equal to, we have 4 times sine 107 degrees. It means here we have b sine 28 degrees is equal to 4 sine 107 degrees. So to get the value of b, we have to divide both sides by the coefficient of b, and then the coefficient of b is sine 28 degrees. So you tell them divide through by sine 28 degrees. So it means here we have b sine 28 degrees all over sine 28 degrees. Yeah, this is 8th place. Is equal to 4 sine 107 degrees all over sine 28 degrees. So this will go with this. Yes, sine 28 degrees we'll go with sine 28 degrees. And we'll be left with B is equal to 4. Now let's get the value of sine 107. So here we have sine 107, that's 107. That will give us 0.9563 divided by, let's see the value of sine 28. Sine 28. Now the value of sine 28 is 0.4695 approximately. Yes, that's the value of sine 28. So it means the value of our B now will be equal to, now let's multiply 0.9563 times 4. So that will give us 3.8252 divided by 0.4695. So it means the value of our small b will be equal to, divided by 0.4695. That will give us 8.147 kilometers. And this is the same as saying B approximately equal to 8.15 kilometers. Now, that is the value of small b. And remember, the small b actually represents the distance of this man from his starting point. It means the value of B here is 8.15 kilometers. Now, that's question number 1. Yes, that's question number 1. So now we'll be moving straight to question number 2. Yes, we'll be moving straight to question number 2. Now, for question number 2, they said a girl starts from a point A. Yes, a girl starts from a point A and walks 285 meters. Yes, she walks 285 meters. Now, let's look at this now. Let's look at this. Now, she starts from a point A. Now, let's bring out our 4 cardinal points. There is not, so this point is our point A. Now, take note of this word from point A. That is, this point now is point A. Now, she starts from point A and walks 285 meters to B on a bearing of 78 degrees. Now, remember, those 78 degrees is the same thing as 78 degrees. Now, let's look at it now. Now, here, let's look at this 78. Remember, we are starting from this point, from the North Pole. Yes. Now we go, the whole of this from here to here, this point is 90 degrees. Yes. And remember, we are taking our measurement from visual inspection. So it therefore means that 78 should be somewhere here. Yes, more than 45. So she moves this way. Yes. Let's do it again. A girl starts from point A and walks 285 meters to point B on the bearing of this. So it means this is our point B. Yes, this is our point B. Now remember, the bearing there is 78. Yes, 078 degrees. And the distance is 285 meters. Yes, 285 meters to B. She then walks due south. Now, please, let's take note of this word. She then walks. That means from this point now, she walks due south. I remember we said for the 4 cardinal points, we said here we have north, south, west, and east. Yes, north, south, west, and east. North, south, west, and east. So in this case now, they say she walks due south. So it means she actually comes down. Yes, let me take it straight. Down. Yes, down. She walks due south to a point C. So this is another point. Yes, this is another point. Let's call this point C. Yes, to a point C. Yes, which is 307 meters from A. Now remember, these are A. These are points A. Now, from here down is 307 meters. Yes, they said 307 meters from A. So it means this C is 307 meters away from this A. Good. Now let's look at this now. Now, if from this point to this point is 78 degrees, and remember we said the whole of this is 90 degrees, it therefore means that this angle from here to this point will be 90 minus 78. And 90 minus 78 is 12. So this place we have 12 degrees. Or we can call it 0, 1, 2 degrees. 12 degrees or 0, 1, 2 degrees. Yes. Then now let's look at this now. Let's look at this. Now we know this side, we know this side. Now let's look at this now. We already have 78. We already have 78 there. Now the question is, we should get the value of BC. Yes, we should get the value of BC. Yes, now we should calculate for the value of BC. So it therefore means that here, if this is 78 degrees, this angle from here to this point, yes, let's look at it now. From coordinate geometry, sorry, plane geometry, yes, we know of alternate angles. So this angle, if this is 78 degrees, it means from this point to this point is also 78 degrees. Yes, that relationship is called the alternate angles relationship. And of course, alternate angles are equal. Yes, alternate angles are equal. So if this is 78 from this point to this point, now let's look at this now. It means here we can apply the sine rule. Now this is a case of having two sides and one angle. Yes. Now remember the sine rule states that A all over sine A all over sine big A is equal to B all over sine big B and is equal to C all over sine big C. Yes, I remember we said the side facing our big A, look at our big A. This side facing is small a. Yes, the side facing our big B is this side, that's small b. And the side facing our big C is small c. So if you look at this very well, you will discover that we actually know the value of our small b and our big B. So let's start from there. So we'll have B all over sine big B now will be equal to, now let's figure this now. We have A all over sine big A. Now remember, our big A is from this point to this point. Yes, our big A is from this point to this point. Yes, and of course, what we're asked to calculate for is the value of A. Yes, the value of A. So, but before then, let's see the value of this angle. Yes, let's see the value of this angle. So let's look at small c all over sine big C. Yes, because if you look at the first one, A all over sine big A, our small a is unknown. Yes, the small a is unknown. They didn't give us the value of small a. And the big A is unknown because this angle 12 is just from this point to this point. So the whole angle A is unknown. So let's calculate for this angle C, since we know our small c. So it means here we have C all over sine big C. Yes. Now the value of our B is 307 all over sine big B. Yes, sine big B is 0.78 degrees. Now let's call it 78 degrees. Now it's equal to C. C is 285 all over sine big C. Yes, all over sine big C. Now the next step is to cross multiply. Now when you cross multiply, this times this, this times this. So we have 307 sine big C will be equal to 285 sine 78 degrees. Yes, so it means to get the value of sine BC, we have to divide through both sides. That is both the left hand side and right hand side by the coefficient of sine big C. So of course, if you look at this very closely, you will see that the coefficient of sine big C is 307. So it means we're dividing both sides. So you divide through by 307. Yes, it means here we have 307 sine big C all over 307 is equal to 285 sine 78 degrees all over 307. Yes, so this 307 will go with this 307. Yes, and on the left hand side will be left with sine C. So it means that the value of sine C, yes, the value of sine C will be equal to the value of sine C will be equal to, so here now let's pick 285. So we have 285, then sine 78. Now let's get the value of sine 78. Sine 78 is 0.9781. 0.9781 divide by, now let's see the value of, here we have 307. So it means sine big C will be equal to, we have 285 times 0.9781. Yes, that will give us 278.76 approximately, all over 307. That's divided by 307. So when you divide it by 307, it gives sine C will be equal to 0.90. We have 80. That's the value of sine C. I remember we are looking for big C. We are looking for C, not sine C. So to get the value of C, our C here will be equal to the sine inverse. The sine inverse of 0.9080. So our C will be equal to, now shift, sine inverse. Yes, so that will give us 65.2. So here we have 65.2 degrees. So that's the value of our big C. So it means this angle is 65.2 degrees. Yes, 65.2 degrees. I remember what they asked us to find here. He said we should find the bearing of A from C. Yes, of A from C. Now let's look at this again. Now remember we said angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. Yes, angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. And now we are looking for our A. So we have angle A plus angle B is 78 degrees. So here we have 78 degrees plus angle C is 65.2 degrees. This is equal to 180 degrees. Yes, it's equal to 180 degrees. So it therefore means that angle A plus angle A plus, now let's add those two, 78 plus 65.2. 65.2. That will give us 143.2 degrees. 143.2 degrees. Now it's equal to 180 degrees. So to get the value of A, let's call it like terms. We have 180 degrees minus 143.2 degrees. So angle A will be equal to minus 180. So that will give us 36.8. So here we have 36.8 degrees. So it means the whole of this angle is 36.8 degrees. Yes, if the whole of this angle from this point to this point is 36.8 degrees. Now let's call this angle from this point. Now let me use my red ink. Yes, let's call this angle from this point to this point alpha. Yes, let's call it alpha. So if that angle is alpha, it therefore means that alpha plus 12 degrees, because from here to this point is 12 degrees. Alpha plus 12 degrees is 36.8 degrees. It means our alpha will be equal to 36.8 degrees minus 12 degrees. So alpha will be equal to, we have 24.8 degrees. Now let me confirm it. 36.8 minus 12 degrees. So that gives us 24.8 degrees. So it means this angle here, yes, let me also apply my red ink. This angle is 24.8 degrees. Yes, that's the value of that small angle. So when you add 24.8 plus 12 degrees, it gives 36.8 degrees. Now going back to the question, they said we should calculate the bearing of A from C. Now this is our A. Yes, this is our A and this is our C. So the bearing of this A from C, you start from the North Pole. Yes, you take it there. This is 90 plus another 90 plus 90. Then this angle. Yes, let's call this angle beta. Yes, or let's call it gamma. Yes. Now let's look at this now. If you look at this now, alpha, this angle here is equal to this angle. Yes, this angle and this angle, they are called alternate. They are called alternate angles. Yes, and of course we know that alternate angles are equal. Yes, alternate angles are equal. So it therefore means that the bearing, the bearing of A from C will be equal to, yes, the bearing of A from C. Now let's look at this. This is 90 degrees. So you pick your 90 degrees plus, there's another 90 degrees. You pick your 90 degrees plus, there's another 90 degrees. You pick your 90 degrees plus this angle. That's from this point to this point, which is alternate to this angle. So plus 24.8 degrees. So adding the whole of this now, this is 90 plus 90, 180. 180 plus 90 is 270. Yes, 180 plus 90 is 270, and 270 plus 24, that will give us 294.8. 294.8 degrees. So that's the bearing of A from C. Yes, that's the bearing of A from C. Now let's look at the next question. They said we should get the value of we should find BC. Now if you look at BC length BC, yes, the distance BC is our small a. So now we're going to calculate for the value of small a. Yes, we're going to calculate for the value of small a. Now remember, we know the value of our small b, and we know the value of big B as well. Yes, if you look at this, we have the value of our big B. Yes, this is the big B, and this is the small b. So now we can say b all over sine big B. Now please, this is b all over sine big B is equal to a all over sine big A. Yes, A all over sine big A. Now our B, small b, is 307 all over sine 78 degrees. Is equal to our small a, we have A all over sine, the value of angle A, which is from this point to this point. That's 36.8 degrees. So here we have 36.8 degrees. At this point, we can cross multiply. So here let's cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, A times this, we have it like this, A times this, that will be A sine 78 degrees is equal to 307 times sine 36.8. That will be 307 sine 36.8 degrees. Yes, so to get the value of A, we have to divide both sides by the coefficient of A. And of course, if you look at this very closely, the coefficient of A is sine 78 degrees. So here you tell them, divide through by sine 78 degrees. So here we have A sine 78 degrees all over sine 78 degrees is equal to 307 sine 36.8 degrees all over sine 78 degrees. Yes, now this will go with this. Sine 78 will go with sine 78. And we left with A. So A will be equal to 307 times, let's see the value of sine 36.8. Yes, sine 36.8. That will give us 0.5990. 0.5990. Yes, divide by, yes, let's look at the next, the value of sine 78. Sine 78. So sine 78 is 0.9781. So it means the value of our A will be equal to, now let's multiply the numerator. We have 307. Yes, 307 rather, not O, please. 307 times 0.5990. Yes, so that gives us 183.893. Now we have divide by 0.9781. So it means the value of our A will be equal to divide by 0.9781. So that will give us 188.01. 188.01 meters. Yes, 188.01 meters. So it means the value of this our A is 188.01 meters. Yes, and of course, that's the distance BC. So our BC is equal to 188.01 meters. So that's the value of our BC, the distance between B and C. And of course, the bearing of A from C is 294.8 degrees. So that's question number 2. Now we are moving straight to question number 3. Yes, the last question. Question number 3. Yes, question number 3. Now all we're doing here is the application of sine rule to finding or calculating for distances and bearings. Yes, distances and bearings. Now let's do the question number 3. Now here they said the bearings of ship A and ship B from, please let's take note of this word, from. Yes, from port P. Yes, from port P. So now it means this is what we have. We have this. Now this should be our port P. Yes, that's our port P. Now the bearings of ship A and ship B from port P are 225 degrees and 116 degrees respectively. Respectively implies that ship A is 225 from the port P and ship B is 116 from port P. Now let's move straight. Let's go from P. Let's get the value of 225. Remember, we are taking our measurement from the North Pole. So here we have 90. We have another 90 making 180. So 180 plus what will give us 225. So you say 225 minus 180. Yes, minus 180. That will give us 45. So it means you have 45 degrees inside. 45 degrees inside. So this you bring it down. Now we wait for further information. Yes, because they didn't tell us the distance of A from P. So let's wait to get further information. So here they went further. Now remember they said B is 116 from the port as well. So let's see what B now. 116. So from here, this is 90 degrees. Yes, 90 degrees. So 90 plus 1 will give you 116. Yes, it's 90 plus 26. Yes, 90 plus 26 will give 116. So it means you are 26 degrees inside. Yes, 26 degrees inside. So this is our B. Yes, that's our B. So here now, they went further. They said ship A is 3.9 kilometers from ship B. Yes, remember this is our ship B now. So let's put it here like this. This is our ship B. Yes, this is our ship B. Yes. Now remember we added 26 to this. So let's put it there. 26 degrees. Yes, we added 26 to that. And here we added 45, yes, to 180 to get 225. Yes. So if this is 26, we should know the angle from here to here. Yes, because the whole of this is 90 degrees. Let me use my red ink again. Yes, the whole of this from this point to this point is 90 degrees. So if this angle is 26 degrees, it means here we are left with 90 minus 26. Yes, 90 minus 26. That will give us 64. So it means this angle here is 64 degrees. That's from this point to this point. Is 64 degrees. Yes. Now, they said ship A is 3.9 kilometers from ship B on the bearing of 258 degrees. So now, A is 258 degrees from ship B. Now, this is ship B. Now, let's look at 258. So you start from the North Pole of B. Here, this is 90. 90 plus 90 is 180. Now, 180 plus what will give us 258. Yes. So now, let's say 258 minus 180. Yes. That will give us 78. So it means you have 78 degrees inside. Yes, 78 degrees inside. So here, you take it down. Yes. So now, remember, this one is also coming down. The whole of this, you have another point here. Yes, you have another point. This is your North Pole. Now, let's look at this now. Let's look at this now. Yes, let's look at this. Now, remember, we added 20, we have 26 from this place to this place. And we said we have 64 to make it the whole of this 90. So it means the whole of this angle from here to here is 45 plus 64. Now 45 plus 64 is 109 degrees. So it means the angle from this point to this point is 109 degrees. That is 45 degrees plus 64 degrees. Yes. Now, if this angle is 26 degrees, now let's do this now. Let's do this. If from this point to this point is 26 degrees, it means from this point to this point will be 26 degrees as well. Yes, it will be 26 degrees as well. The reason is because they are alternate angles. And of course, alternate angles are equal. Now, let's look at this now. You know, from here to here is 90 degrees. And here we have another 90 degrees because 90 plus 90 is 180. Then now this 180, we now added 70. What did we add? We said 258 minus 180. Yes, we added 78. So it means this angle from here to this point. Now let me use my black ink now. Let me use my black ink. So here we have 78 degrees. Yes, we have 78 degrees. And if it is 78 degrees, it means we have this left. And remember, from this point, this straight line to this point is 90 degrees. So if it is 78 degrees, it means to make it 90, we have 12 degrees left. Because 12 plus 78 is 90. So it means the whole of this angle is 12 plus 26. And that will give us 38 degrees. Yes, that will give us 38 degrees. Yes. Now, this is our point A, remember. Yes, this is our point A. Yes. So now let's see what is this angle. Yes, let's see what this angle. Now remember they said A is 3.9 kilometers away from B. So it means this A from this B is 3.9 kilometers. Yes. Now let's look at this angle. Let's look at this angle. Now remember angle A plus angle P plus angle B is equal to 180 degrees. Yes, the sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. So here, let's see. We have angle A plus angle P is 109 degrees. Then plus angle B, which is 38 degrees, is equal to 180 degrees. So it means angle A plus, let's see, 109 plus 38. 109 plus 38 degrees. Yes, that gives us 147 degrees. 147 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. It means angle A will be equal to 180 degrees minus 147 degrees. So angle A will be equal to, we have 33 degrees. So it means the whole of this angle is 33 degrees. Yes, it's 33 degrees. Now let's go back to the question. It said we should calculate the distance of ship A from P. That's from the ports. Ship A from the port. Now remember, this is the port. Yes, and we said that the side facing our big A, now these are big A class, these are big A. The side facing the big A is a small a. The side facing the big B is a small b. The side facing the big P is a small p. Now the distance AP is small b. So the distance between A and port P is actually designated by the value small b. So now here, let's look at this. So we have A. Now let's do this. We know the value of our small p and we know big P, so we can start from there. Yes, we know small p and big P, so we can start from there. So here we have P all over sine big P will be equal to, then now let's look at this now. Remember we are looking for B. So we have B all over sine big B. Yes, B all over sine big B. So it therefore means that the value of our P is 3.9. So we have 3.9 all over sine big P, which is 109 degrees, yes, is equal to the value of our small b, not given, all over sine big B. Our big B is 38 degrees. So the next step is to cross multiply. Cross multiply. Okay, so in cross multiplying, yes, we have B times this. Yes, we have the value of B times sine 109. Yes, B times sine 109. So it means we have B sine 109, B sine 109 degrees. Yes, that is B times this, like this, is equal to 3.9 sine 38. 3.9 sine 38 degrees. Yes. So the next step is to divide through. By the coefficients of b. Now the small b. And of course we can see that the coefficient of small b is sine 109. So we are dividing both sides by 100 sine 109. Yes, 109 degrees. So here we have b sine 109 degrees all over sine 109 degrees will be equal to 3.9 sine 38 degrees all over sine 109 degrees. So this will go with this. So we have b will be equal to 3.9 sine 38 degrees all over sine 109 degrees. So our b will be equal to 3.9. Now let's see the value of sine 38. Yes, sine 38. Sine 38 is 0.61. Yes, 6157 approximately. Yes, all over. Let's look at sine 109. Yes, it's 109, please, not 109. It's 109. So here we have 0.94. Then here we have 55. Yes, 55. So it means the value of our b will be equal to, now let's multiply the numerator. We have 0.6157 times 3.9. Yes, times 3.9. That will give us 2.40123 divided by 0.9455. Now let's divide it. Divide by 0.9455. Yes, 0.9455. That will give us 2.5396 kilometers. So it means b, or yes, remember b is the distance between AP, so we can call it, or distance AP is approximately equal to 2.54 kilometers. Thank you. So we have actually come to the end of the application of the sine rule in finding bearings and distances. So in our next section, we'll be looking at the cosine rule and its application. Thank you for listening, and remember to share, like, and subscribe. God bless you.